You know what I resubscribed to a few weeks ago? Blue Apron. If I'm lying, I'm dying. You've all been so great at supporting Cooking with Greggy, but I'm no master chef. I don't know how to cook a lot of stuff. That's why I love Blue Apron. Jen and I get easy meals we can whip up on a whim, and I get to learn how to make couscous or fish or something else I've never heard of. You sign up, pick your menu, and they deliver pre-portioned ingredients with step-by-step instructions. You just follow along, make the meal, learn something, have a good time. They've even included this handy little flow chart the last time I did it. It teaches me how to make sauce from the fond. It's got wines on there. It's like a flow chart. Like I said that. It's cool. I'm going to laminate it. Again, this isn't something they wrote for me. I'm literally telling you things that are happening on my couch. If you know a good laminator, hit me up. Check out this week's menu and get $30 off your first meal with free shipping by going to blueapron.com/Greggy. You will love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron, so don't wait. That's blueapron.com/Greggy. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. I used it at home. Seriously, in the comments below, tell me where to get something laminated.
So kiss me. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. I'm your host, Nick Scarpino, alongside, well, if you go that way, the pure one, Tim Gettys.
Sixpence, none the richer.
That was really good.
Hunter Pence.
Andy Maximum Cortez is joining us.
What, you don't even have a fucking nickname for me?
What is your stupid nickname?
There's
With the
several.
glue?
There are
Hispanic
several.
heartthrob.
It's Hispanic
I'm calling him
heartthrob.
the Kind of Funny's very own Pomeranian.
It's a Latino heat or
Andy,
Texan treasure.
Candy Andy.
from a galaxy far, far away, Andy Cortez.
I guess.
And
What's
joining
up?
us for the very first time, and we're very excited to have you, Elyse Willems.
Yay!
From Funhouse.
Thanks so much for having me. Thank you guys very much for having me.
Thank you for coming up.
Thanks, Cool Tim.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not
For having
cool
me.
You know what?
here.
Here's the thing.
I really appreciate
I
it.
was like, "Hey, we should get Elyse up," and Cool Tim was like, "I'm gonna make that happen," and he did because he's so fucking cool.
I mean, that's kind of what Greg made it happen. We all just like,
We don't. I don't know
Did
who's
make
this
it
person.
happen.
you
You're
were
talking
one
about.
of the most requested guests we've ever had. We
Thank you,
say that a
guys.
lot
That's
to the
nice
guests,
of
but
you.
that's because
It's true.
It's true. Like when these people are requested,
Well,
we
thank
make shit
you.
happen. So here you are. You're doing not one but two shows with us.
Whoa!
Like we brought
Somebody's
you up here.
A baker's dozen.
A baker's dozen.
We brought you up here to do Gamescast, but we're like, you know what? We got to talk about puppets and other stuff too. So we need you for GOG.
People are so tired of talking about the puppets.
I don't
No,
think they
Not
are.
in
never
our
talk.
community.
First off, that's this podcast in a nutshell. We should also note, Greg is with us in spirit, but he
Hey,
has
Greg.
to. What are you playing? You got to catch up on something.
Playing Golf Story.
He's playing
Ah,
Golf Story.
Golf Story.
He's got to get. He's had a long. Greg's been working a lot, so we gave him a little bit of a break today. He's going to just sit over there and contribute when he feels like he wants to.
This is a punishment.
It's not a punishment.
Yeah, no, he's in timeout for not finishing his game.
No, he's
Yes.
working way
Bad
too
Greg.
hard. Fine, he's in timeout. He's in timeout.
That's a solid. I don't know what it's called. Grito.
It was a
That
jump.
was a
A
good
jump.
massage.
Yeah, I call that the. Who's the one-armed guy from the band? The drummer?
Def Leppard.
Def Leppard. Steely Dan.
That was great.
He's the
Andy,
drummer.
I bet you didn't know something, but I'm going to tell you right now.
What's up?
The GameOverGreggy Show is a podcast where each and every week 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around this table,
Oh, okay.
each bringing a topic of discussion for your listening and or viewing pleasure. I almost got it. We break that. Break the podcast up, of course, topic by topic, day by day, week by week,
By week.
month by month. And if that doesn't sound confusing enough, well, if you
Millennium
want to
by
get it early, you
millennium.
can go over to patreon.com/kindoffunny, and for $1, you could support us. I was going to print a picture of a dog up and say that your $1 will save this dog's life, but then I started
They
looking
won't.
through those pictures, and I was like, these are really sad dogs, and I don't contribute enough to the world, and I started feeling bad about myself. So I just left that joke out.
Why didn't you use Portillo?
Because he's on death's door
There's an
already.
old
Let's
dog
be perfectly honest.
sanctuary.
There's nothing that can save Portillo, Greg. I'm sorry.
It's an old dog sanctuary in Kentucky that has an Amazon wish list, so you can buy them stuff on it.
I don't trust Amazon wish lists in general.
Okay, here we go.
It just seems like it's
Conspiracy theory, Cool Tim.
I've been burned way too many times by
Conspiracist
people's
Tim.
wish lists of things that you should get them.
It just seem-
they
they
never
seem
they
weird
never
to
take
me.
the picture with them. You know what I mean?
You're talking about the girls who
What?
do that stuff.
Put their wish list, and they're like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Adam Kovic to do that. I'm like, make your wish list, put it in your Twitter profile.
But Adam Kovac's just always so over everything that he doesn't have a wish list. You know, you'd be like, hey, do you want that? I'm over it, man. I'm
No,
over
he
it.
just has a list.
He
He
just has a
can't,
list,
he can't
yeah.
call
He
it a
doesn't
wish
really want
list.
it.
Cars
He
suck,
doesn't really
man.
want it.
It's like, I don't even like housing,
No.
dude. I hate shelter.
He's a wonderful man.
I love Adam.
Of course, we love all you guys right now. Subscribe to our channel if you're watching this on YouTube. And we're going to go into the first topic right now, which is brought to you by...
This podcast's like a lot louder when Greg does it, I've noticed.
Well, I like to be
The morning show.
So what's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. That's your host, Greg Miller.
Okay, you had it.
That's how he does it,
You're
right?
announcing a boxing fight in the
That's
50s or what?
in
In this ring, we have... Jesus Christ.
Fighting out of the right corner.
Like,
First
peanuts.
topic is from Tim's topic. Tim, what's your topic today?
I want to talk about American Vandal. Now, here's the thing. We're recording this episode. I don't know when the hell it's going out. So this might be a little late.
2019.
Everyone might have already watched
But the
it
thing
already.
is, American Vandal is
It
going to be on
doesn't matter.
Netflix forever. It's an original series.
Exactly.
So this is going to be relevant forever.
And I feel like it's the type of show that you might miss out on if you don't hear about the hubbub at the right time, right? So
Yeah.
in the future, when you're watching this, if you haven't seen American Vandal yet, I recommend you watch the show. Why, Nick?
Because it's really good. It's really good. Now, you guys got me into this show. I haven't finished it
Greg
yet.
got me into it.
But you guys can feel free.
Big Greg
Are
Miller.
we spoiling this for anyone? Do I have to put the spoiler cap on?
Let's keep it spoiler light.
Let's
Like,
okay, we're
not,
gonna try not to
ruin
spoil it for
anyone,
everyone.
but
I
there's
have
some
not-
things we got to talk about.
I should note, I have not finished this because Tim told me yesterday, Nick, go home tonight and finish American Vandal. But we all had such a good time with Max Landis that I decided I was going to start Dirk Gently, his holistic detective agency. Got hella into that, forgot about American Vandal for a night. Came this morning, was like, shit, I should have finished it. But it's really good.
You goofed, man.
You goofed.
Yeah, you done goofed up.
Yeah.
It is done in the style of Serial and Making a Murder and that style
Shadow of a Doubt,
yeah,
all
exactly,
those.
that style of
The
content,
Jinx.
right? Now, have you listened to Serial?
Oh yeah, I all those true crime docs, Shadow of a Doubt, Serial, The Jinx. I'm there.
I listen to
Making
S-Town
a
because
I read about
Murderer.
that.
S-Town, yeah, S-Town.
S-Town, which is the spiritual
Shittown.
successor to Serial, right?
Kind
It's
of,
not
yeah.
It's produced by the same team.
yeah. I loved Serial. And then I got to the end of Serial and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, there's no definitive answer at the end. There's nothing. All of this was for nothing. They didn't really prove anything. They didn't get the guy out of jail. And I was like,
But it
are you
made you
kidding
think,
me?
Nick.
But that's
No, it made me
real
think-
life though.
It is.
The only situation where I can think where there's actually you'll find some kind of resolution is the Jinx.
100%.
And just because there's that crazy moment when he's in the bathroom and he says, "Kill them, I'll kill them all. Of course I did," or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I can't
You
kill
seen
my-
it?
Oh no! I'm
Okay.
very familiar.
I
It's
am
very,
all about
you did
it.
such a good spot on impression that it just gave me a flashback. I was in that moment. That guy's fucking freaky.
He's freaky, but
He's
that
freaky
that
as
was like
shit.
week
Are you
to
familiar
week.
with this?
I've heard Dandy told me about
Yeah.
it.
What is the guy's name? I forget.
I'm Robert
Robert
Durst.
Durst.
Robert
I mean,
Durst,
I
yeah.
get all the bodies. I don't know.
He is a
I don't know
weird,
what the bodies
weird,
are.
Yeah.
motherfucker.
I mean, James and I were watching that week to week, and we'd have to like watch something after to cleanse ourselves because it felt so creepy.
But the thing about Serial though is that they would do those, like, it's obviously a beautifully produced show that keeps you riveted, and it's from start to finish. I'm like, wow, this is like, I'm really into the story. Like, I want to know if they made this phone call, and I want to know if this was even possible, and yada yada yada. But as you go on with it, and you look like when you finish it, you look back, you're like, yeah, some of that was completely ridiculous. Like the part
Yeah.
where she's like, and that's what had me really concerned. Like those moments that I feel like people would smoke weed, listen to, and go, you know, we should make a show like this.
That 40
That's
minutes is what keeps me up at night,
Yeah,
sort of
that's
thing.
it, and that's what keeps me up at night. It's like that alone was enough that you could tell, you could see the seeds of where the creative ideas from American Vandal came
sure,
from, right?
like Sarah Koenig, who's the serial producer, it'd be 10 episodes or 8 episodes or whatever, and she'd explore every red herring.
Right.
So just when you think she's presenting now to you what the most valid argument and suspect is going to be, at the end of that episode, it's revealed, oh well, that actually was this is where this investigation ended
Right.
for this specific person.
But then this.
But then, and that's
yeah.
what I loved about American Vandal,
Yeah.
watching it, because so Greg sold it to me and he was just like, dude, I watched this, it's so funny, because my first introduction to the show was my TV was on and we had just finished watching some bullshit, and then it was just cycling through like screensavers on my TV, like I don't know, it does that for some reason, and it was just like the thumbnail for it, but it didn't say American Vandal, and it was just a picture of a bunch of cars with dicks on it, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I was like, all right, whatever. Next day at work, Greg was like, dude, I just watched the show American Vandal, it's about trying dicks on cars, and I'm like, tell me more.
But the thing that they do so well in this show is obviously it's satire and obviously it's making fun of those. But I am legitimately invested in who drew the dicks on these cars. And
Yeah.
it's
Who did the
actually
dicks?
it's actually a well done, like, who done it. Like, there's a little bit of suspense, and I want to get to the. I'm invested in the characters enough to want some sort of resolution. Now, granted, I haven't finished it, and I swear to God, I know there's got to be no fucking resolution because there has to be no resolution at the end of it. But it's such a well done show. Like from production design, the acting.
The acting is perfect.
The acting.
Let's talk about
the camera work.
The camera work is
the
amazing.
editing.
Let's talk about the
motion graphics. Like,
Yeah, the
what's
3D fucking.
Oh my god! The best part, the thing that fucking killed me was when they were like, "Could someone have ever seen the hand job on the pier?" And it goes in 3D, and it's just one like red character jerking off another red character. I was
Yeah,
like, "These
I
guys are
guess
fucking twisted."
If you don't know the show, the basic premise is that this high school kid, he's accused of
Right.
spray painting, 27 penises on 27 teachers' cars.
Teachers' cars, right?
And he's expelled from school, so he can't finish out his year and graduate. And
Essentially, another kid.
And a documentary crew
Yeah.
says, "Hey, we got
not a documentary
there's
crew.
What's other kids?
The AV club
The AV
at
club.
school decides to do this, and the best thing is they commit so hard to it that even in
Yeah.
the opening credits, all the credits are
the kids,
AV
the kids that are making,
Yeah.
not the people who directed the
great.
actual series. It's the name of
directed
the
by
characters.
Sam Eklund and
Yeah, exactly.
Peter Maldonado.
and kind of the main suspects are the AV club, just
Morning Show
because
9.
they would have had access to like the school
cameras, yeah.
and everything. But what I loved was that the reason, because the main like perpetrator, what's his name, Dylan?
Dylan Maxwell.
Greg, if you're gonna be a part of the episode, be a part of the episode.
Success over your number.
Don't just
Lord.
stare into the
What a-
camera and grimace while Elyse is talking. Okay, it's rude.
Well, Dylan, he's in the AV club,
Right.
Which even though he's like a total like fuck up, why would he be in the AV club?
Because every time they cut to one of his shots, it's just to zoom in on
zooming in
someone's
on
boobs.
boobs.
Yeah, but he's in the AV club, so he can use their camera equipment to make his YouTube prank videos.
Which is so good. And
It's
like
genius.
there's so much subtlety. I mean, obviously we are kind of behind the curtain on a lot of the stuff, so I feel like there's an extra layer for people that are really into internet video
Right.
and production and all that stuff. Because there's so many jokes that are funny, like
Farting on
even something-
babies.
Even as something as simple as Dylan's making shitty YouTube videos, whatever, but this documentary team, the AV Club, puts their videos on Vimeo.
Yeah.
That's so good. I love
Such
that.
an
catch
elitist.
that. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
It's perfect.
Lossless,
hilarious.
But I
guys.
remember watching the first episode and being like,
Lossless.
wow, I'm so hooked. Because it ends on the first episode's cliffhanger is just fucking brilliant. When it's revealed that the dude, there's like this nerdy ass dude and he claims he got a hand job from some super hot girl.
That
It's like,
guy's
there's no
awesome.
way.
That guy's the actor's hilarious.
That's fucking funny. But I was like, how is this show, how does it have 7 more episodes?
Oh,
I was like, I don't think this can possibly keep up. And there's not a lull the entire time. There reaches a point in the middle of the series where I'm like, it's been 4 episodes since we've even seen Dylan.
Yeah.
And I don't care because it's fucking good.
Yeah, I think for when I was like 4 episodes in, I was reminded of the 4-episode run that Castlevania had. So 4 episodes in, I was like, surely it's almost done because how can they possibly keep this up? And it just kept going and kept going. And then I was like, all right, episode 6, this is probably the end right here, right? I know. So eventually it's 8 episodes, right? But they do such a good job of throwing all these different layers at you. And to the point where you're like legitimately, who the fuck did the dicks, man?
And
Who
it's
did the
such
dicks?
a great satire of those podcasts and those shows that they present every single avenue, every single suspect. They explore every opportunity that could have conspired to make this crime happen. And that's what makes it feel so real. And the basic premise is so immature and
It's
stupid.
dumb. It's so stupid and juvenile.
And that's what makes it even more compelling because they found a way to weave a narrative around just this like base and idiotic
And there's
premise.
heart to it. Like, and
Yeah.
this is where there's some things like towards the end that I don't want to spoil, but I feel like the last episode and a half really kind of like puts everything in perspective of this type of shit affects people's lives. Like this kid getting expelled could totally change the course of his life and the people around him and all that. And I like that they went there. I like that it wasn't just all jokes throughout the thing. Although the jokes are so funny and the characters are so the teachers.
But they're subtle too. That's the thing is like they're
Yeah.
not in your face jokes. There's jokes where you're like they're just all performance driven. Like the Mr. Kraz character is probably the most outlandish of all of them. But the Dylan character.
But we've all had those teachers. We've had a Mr. Kraz. We've had.
I like to believe that if I were a
the
teacher,
woman-
I would be Mr.
yeah,
Kraz.
Shapiro. Huh?
I'd like to believe that if I were a high school teacher, I'd be Mr. Kraz.
Okay, so there's a scene, Elyse, where I was gonna say Scarpino, but when Mr. Kraz is he's taking Snapchat videos of himself, and
yeah,
like one of
yeah.
them he's like on a hoverboard,
Yeah.
another one's like
Yeah.
on a hoverboard with a
Cohiba.
Oh,
With a Cohiba, the cigar.
oh yeah, and then,
He's like,
and
I'm
then he
smoking
goes,
Cohiba,
and
I'm
then he
on a hoverboard,
goes
I'm on a
YOLO. Yeah, I was like, that's Nick Scarpino,
Dude, it's so
like
funny.
just trying to be cool.
Yeah, he's
Like Nick actually said YOLO today.
I said we're living the YOLO life.
Unironically.
Living the YOLO life.
You did say that. You said we're living the YOLO life as
life.
Andy accidentally drove into the exit of a McDonald's.
But I was telling
fucking
this.
judge me.
So this past weekend, this is going to show you like how dated this episode is. But we were at the Let's Play reunion, And I was talking about this show with the guys from Sugar Pine 7. And I was telling Kib that Jimmy Tetro, he's a YouTuber.
He's the main character.
And I didn't know that, right?
Dylan,
Yeah. So Jimmy Tetro plays
Life according to Jimmy.
the main fuck up guy named Dylan Maxwell, and it is one of the best acting performances I
Absolutely.
think I've seen.
I was talking with like Benny Fine, like Fine Brothers React, because he knows him, and he was like, "Yeah, he's such a great actor. Like, I can't believe nobody realized." Like,
Every line is so perfectly done. Like even going down to some parts where you think that could have been like improv and stuff like that, but the writing's so good, and it didn't ever feel. The thing I was going to be worried about is that it was going to feel like 40-year-olds writing a movie about high schoolers, so there was going to be some stuff that was thrown in there that was odd, but like they reference Twitch at one point, and they reference, of course, all the social media and
Yeah.
Twitter and
And
all
they
things
use
like
it
that.
properly.
Yeah, and it like everything felt so like natural.
Yeah, but and later on, it's funny because it's like it's actually pretty fascinating. They do a whole episode where it's just the Instagram, like or just the video
iMessage?
Like, well, no, it was like everyone's social media feeds, and they piece together what happened at the
Oh,
party.
yeah.
And I'm like, that you could legit actually probably
Oh my
fucking
God.
do that at a
Yeah,
party. Like,
where it's like
you
one of
could
those-
legit, if there had been a crime with a Let's Play, you could have taken all of
Yeah.
our feeds
Exactly,
and probably
there's been,
figured
like,
out who had done
from
it.
this angle, you can
and
see
spoilers,
Elyse
it would have been
holding-
that dude from Sugar Pine 7.
Absolutely.
Would have been fucking Cab.
Mr. Kraz's Twitter feed is fantastic.
Oh, is it a real thing?
Oh my! I maybe you haven't hit it yet. Then
Oh, no.
something happens to him, and then
I know. Yeah, okay.
they kind of flash his, and you see all of his
Yeah.
his whole tweets.
Class is boring today right now. So he's essentially a history teacher, and so
He's like history song.
the kids who are part of the AV club are all like kind of the key suspects because they have the capability to have deleted the security footage.
Right.
There's a 30-minute piece of security footage that's missing, and that's like the key piece of evidence that they needed to see who was in the parking lot. And so they're referencing one random girl who's on the the part of the AV club, and they asked Mr. Kraz about her. And he's like, "Oh yeah, she's a cool girl. Yeah, really nice. But again, just like super boring." And the fact that he feels like he's owed entertainment from his students
Yeah.
is just so great.
Yeah.
She's
Like,
great.
it's perfect.
She's a class president, but again, just
Yeah, super boring.
But I also like it though, because not only do every single character that's introduced at some point you get deeper with, and at some point you learn something about them that you're just like, wow, this world is so fleshed out.
It's all
And
surface level stuff, and then
it
like,
just gets so
yeah.
much deeper. And there'll be like flashbacks, or there'll be things where it's like parts of the documentary have total different meanings later when you meet other characters.
Yeah.
And I love that there reaches a point, I think it's probably like 4 or 5 episodes into the series, that it starts getting meta as fuck because the kids at school start watching
Yeah,
the
they start watching,
documentary on
and they
video.
want to start being in the documentary.
And it's
so
like,
every time
oh
he's
my
doing
God.
B-roll shots, like, "Hey, are you filming?" Like, all that stuff starts happening. That's very fascinating.
Yeah.
that's like surface level. This reads like a poorly done satire or parody of what's going on, but it has a lot of depth. Not the least of which is when you're watching it, you're like, "Fuck, the joke's on me." Because I am the idiot who is following all of these threads in real life and in this parody. And like, what does that say about me that I'm so invested in this thing that probably doesn't have a definitive outcome? Like, why do I view these series like Serial and all these other things as entertainment? Like, what does that say about me? Like, granted, like Serial was a cause and they were trying to
Yeah.
like actually bring more awareness to it. But at the same time, I'm like, this is fucking riveting, and I wanted more of it, and I didn't really care if the kid got off or not. It's kind
No,
of
it's
sad.
just pure voyeurism.
Yeah,
and
it's this
you
weird,
touched on it
fucked up
before,
thing.
but like the ramifications it has in the lives of the people that are accused but proven innocent, there's still kind of that lingering sense of doubt, or it just has and it touches on those ramifications much later into the documentary, but where it's like, well, these people are sort of guinea pigs in these kids'
Video project.
video project, but it does have a lasting impact.
Hold on real quick. Greg, how are we doing back here?
Doing well. Got on the fairway, everybody.
He's on the fairway. Cool, man.
No, this
Cool,
is
man.
not the same game you were playing before. Everybody's golf.
Everybody's golf. This is golf story.
Now, how does it rank up to everybody's golf?
You'll find out on the Kind of Funny Games cast.
Look at that.
That's a plug,
Patreon.com/kind
son.
of funny game.
We just got plugged. I'll finish it this week. I'll probably call
Yes.
you. When
Do
I
we
finish it.
do we think before we move on to the next topic? Do we think that there will be any serious award considerations?
Oh, I think they'll
Award
probably get an Emmy for
considerations?
this, or at least a nod for this. I would imagine. This is fucking brilliant. I've never seen anything like this show before.
It is brilliant because the execution is so perfect, And I feel like it succeeds in so many different fronts, because if it was just a funny show, or if it was just like, oh, it's well thought out and it's parodying whatever, that'd be one thing. But the acting's so good, the writing is so good, and again, going back to the cinematography, the amount of shots of
Dude, the drone shots are
dollies,
fucking
the drone
awesome.
shots,
But they're perfect. They're just perfect. You know what I mean?
They're so good.
Like
and I
all of
love-
them are at sunset, which is hilarious. Because after you see the 30th one, you're like, okay, we get it. You filmed at fucking sunset.
That's the thing, is like
It's
there's so
good.
much
Trying to film like
meta
golden
production
hour.
shit to it, where it's like the types of shots they use and when they use them. Like there's a point in it where they're not allowed to shoot at the school anymore, so it's like every shot from the school becomes old shots that they had from before that you've seen, but now they have different like meanings to it. I'm like, God.
Or
man,
even
it's
I
just
love
brilliantly
the part
edited.
where it's like, no, people put this cell phone like that, and the very first person he walks, he's like, are you fucking filming me? It's so good.
I'm trying to think of like the last kind of parody that I would have watched, satire that really
holds up as
holds
well
up
as this.
Like,
Well, the thing is, Tim nailed it, right? This is clever on so many levels because it's making fun and touching on so many different things, which is like, it's touching on all of social media, it's touching on video uploading, it's touching on the YouTube culture, it's touching on what happens when people get famous for making something and how does that affect their reality suddenly. Like suddenly the kids who were making the thing became the celebrities, and then that affects them in a different way, right? It's like it's an interesting commentary on everything that is happening online right now.
Just so unbelievably well done, but I also think that like as every minute I was watching it, I couldn't help but think, man, it must have been so much fun to be a part of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Like to be a part of the production, to be a part of like, oh, we should cut to a shot like this because the Jinx did that, or like I love the idea. You could just tell that they had a blast making this shit.
You have to
And
be
that's
very
what keeps me up
studied
at
in
night.
all of the source material too.
I love like every other cliffhanger is like, and this changes everything. It's like it's so
Every
good.
single time.
There's every single one.
And
It's
then
like,
totally retcons. It's just-
Yeah.
And then the intro song with the video is so great.
and that's perfect too because it's just good enough, right?
Yeah.
Like it
reminds you
apes
of True
all those-
Detective.
yeah,
It's
but it's
very
not
Making a
that
Murderer
good.
in
Like it's
it,
not
so.
it's not perfect.
Yeah.
It's not HBO quality. It's like FX quality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have you guys all seen The Onion's Sex House?
No.
Oh man, it's I mean it's not this. It's totally not on the same level in terms of like production value or just levels of genius, I'd say. But in terms of parodying a reality show or that kind of like voyeurism, Sex House is hilarious. It's just a bunch of people that are put in this house with the indication that they're
like
gonna
Big Brother style.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
they're locked
that's
in
funny.
this house. They're gonna have sex, but then they don't give them food, so they all start developing like scurvy, and like they start pumping like smells, and it's brilliant. Like
That's awesome.
yeah, it's definitely not on the same level as this, but it is a fun watch.
And we were
like,
talking about Burning Love before
recently,
this,
yeah.
which is it's a Bachelor parody, and
Yeah.
it just nails it. But it's
It
like
nails a
that's
lot
the
of
type of
things,
thing
yeah.
where
That's easy to parody.
it
though.
is. It's so
That's-
easy to
that's
parody.
low-hanging fruit
And
when it
what's
comes
funny
to
about it is
parody.
you watch it, and the parody is almost like it's not any funnier than the show because it's kind of just the show. And I
Right.
feel like even that, as well done as it was, it lacks the kind of
There's no
charm.
nuance to it.
the nuance
Yeah,
to
yeah.
it. The like the point, right? It lacks like I feel like American Vandal. It needed to happen. Like it is its own thing at the end of the day. Whereas Burning Love is just it's a parody of whatever. Ugh,
Do you think they do American Vandal season 2?
definitely?
Yeah.
I definitely think they do. I feel like they have to.
or it
look out
could be
for it.
American something.
Well, that's what I'm
you
saying.
know?
Is like, do they do the sort of thing that like
Is the
FX
same
is
team
doing?
gonna
where-
do something else?
Yeah, where
Like
it's like
Fargo?
instead of OJ, it's the Menendez brothers or whatever. Actually, I know those are two separate production companies doing those, but like, yeah, I wonder if they just do a different story, a completely different story.
I think
and do
they
the
straight
same
up
style.
continue the storyline.
This one?
I think
I
they
don't
do.
know
Really?
about that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Well, we
'cause
will have
it's-
to wait and see. Everybody out there, let us know. Watch American Vandal.
There's-
Comment on this and let us know what you thought about
There's
it.
a show that I want to give a shout out to that this reminds me of a lot, and it doesn't parody any one specific thing. It just kind of parodies like reality TV in general and
Young
like
Sheldon.
YouTube culture. Yeah, Young Sheldon.
Big Bang.
I love how you're just going to use Young Sheldon as a punchline.
Do you even
for the
watch
rest of
Young
the time.
Sheldon?
No
Are you
one
kidding me?
does.
Dude, the ratings were unbelievable.
John Reisinger messaged me this morning. And
Did
he
you
said,
watch
I watched
it?
Young Sheldon.
Oh my god.
I, for the life of me, and again, I'm not. I of all people cannot sit on a high and mighty throne
You
and tell
cannot.
people what they should or should not be watching. But I have watched episodes of The Big Bang Theory. It's okay. I don't understand why that show is so
I
popular.
don't know why it resonates with people at all.
Me neither.
Again, not bad as a sitcom. I'm like, this is a well-made sitcom. Like they hit every fucking point they need to hit to make this a sitcom.
I did feel the same way about 2.5 Men at a point. And then I like
Jesus Christ.
moved out of my apartment, which had full cable, into an apartment which I only had
the basic cable
I only had a
stations.
fucking antenna that like my dad made me an antenna. that like I put on that he like
even mean?
he made out of a 2x4
Whittled it.
and like and like hangers,
Molten
and
steel.
like
Really?
yeah, and it worked better than the one I bought at Best Buy. Like I got Fox on it, and I didn't get Fox on the one from Best Buy.
There you go.
Yeah, it was crazy. So anyway, so that I was like, man, I'm limited to like ABC, NBC, Fox,
Living the
CBS, or whatever.
dream.
Oh God,
best life.
So I was like, so at
Living my
night,
best life.
so
Best
at
life.
night, I'm like, let me
cool,
just see,
Andy.
let me see what's going on fucking ABC or whatever channel, CBS. 2.5 Men would be on, and be like, fucking stupid show, and like. A couple days in, I'm like, it's pretty good.
That's Stockholm syndrome.
No, but that's
Andy.
how I feel like that's how all sitcoms get you. Where you're like, I just have nothing better to do.
It's
There's
familiarity.
nothing.
It's formula.
It's that stupid formula. It's the characters never actually like being in any necessarily super bad situations, right? We're
No
like, oh,
evolution.
the worst that happened to Sheldon is that he can't find his pants and the balls tonight. Where are his pants? It's like whatever. Who fucking cares, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean,
Charlie,
like,
you should be a writer.
And
Well,
Charlie
I mean,
Sheen would
look,
be
dude,
like,
I've
that's what
watched-
she said last night. I'd be like, Charlie, man.
well, I feel like
Fucking
that one though
man.
was extra punctuated by the fact that Charlie Sheen was having a fucking meltdown when that show was happening. Remember
that
that was
was
all
like-
Tiger Blood shit.
Midway through though.
Yeah, this is like, yeah.
Well, yeah, they fired him off the show, right? And then Ashton
but I mean, that
Kutcher
was
came on,
already,
and
like,
then the
after
show
what,
was
But they
like,
still, no, it's in
10
syndication though.
seasons?
Like it's at
oh no,
nighttime.
yeah. God bless
Along
him.
with Wayne Brady and fucking what's behind this fucking thing, you know?
Oh, Wayne Brady, the Wayne
Remember
Brady
that
show?
show that he was on?
Experience.
No, during the day. No, it was a game show where like you either took what was this or what was behind the wall.
Was it?
I don't know.
Oh no, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Andy. We don't waste our
Well,
time
let's
like
make
that.
a deal.
He did. Let's make a deal.
Yeah,
Wayne Brady did?
Wayne Brady. Yeah,
I didn't remember that.
he was great. Oh, he was so good.
Man, that's the kind of thing. Us,
I got
that's the
really
kind of thing
into
us
it.
aspiring stand-up comedians dream about, right? Being just relegated to daytime TV.
Wait, I have to Google this because maybe I'm wrong.
Why
but
don't you Google that?
Thanks for watching the Game Over Greggy show, everybody. Click here to subscribe to the channel. Click here to check out our Patreon. Click here for a playlist of previous episodes. And click down here for whatever cool Greg wants to put there. I hope it's cool. I know it will be.